Bengals check that box and get into the win column for the first time in 2024. Mike Petraglia inside Bank of America Stadium in downtown Charlotte, and this is the spot where the Bengals finally wipe the goose egg out of the win column and get that first victory of 2024. 34-24 over Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. Joe Burrow with 2 touchdown passes. Chase Brown with his first 2 career touchdown runs. And the Bengals were able to stave off a mild comeback attempt by Andy Dalton and company in the fourth quarter. And they walk out of Dodge with a 34-24 victory. After the game, a couple of storylines. First of all, I asked Zach Taylor if this team could finally breathe a sigh of relief. And he said, not really. It's more about checking that first box of getting the first win of the season. Zach Taylor very happy with really complimentary football that was played by the Bengals from start to finish for the first time all year. Joe Burrow with the 2 touchdown passes, 1 of 63 yards to Jamar Chase. He broke 3 tackles, made it to the sideline, and then a la 2021 in Baltimore, outraced the entire defense to the end zone. When he got to the defense, he sought out his dad in the end zone, tossed the ball to his dad. It was not for his dad, but rather his dad's 2 parents who are still alive and living here in North Carolina. Jamar Chase said to T. Higgins before the game, if I score, I'm going to get that ball to my dad, and he's going to give it to his 2 parents. And that's what he wound up doing. So Jamar Chase after the game said, I guess you could say I called it. In terms of the 2 touchdown runs for Chase Brown, the first 2 of his career, really the Bengals were able to show in this game they can pound the rock in the red zone. That is something that has really eluded the Bengals over the last couple of years. Maybe, though, the biggest play of the game with 6 seconds to go in the first half, no timeouts remaining in 3rd and goal. Joe Burrow decided to throw the ball to Zach Moss in space. If he gets tackled, the half ends without anything going up on the board for the Bengals. Instead, he made former Bengal Nick Scott miss in space, and then he crawled into the end zone to give the Bengals a 21-14 halftime lead. That was clutch because the Bengals came out in the second half and got the ball and marched right down the field and made it a 28-14 advantage with Chase Brown's 2nd touchdown of the day. A couple of moments in this game were kind of scary. First of all, Mike Hilton went down in the end zone in the first quarter, grabbing his left knee. He left the game but did come back, and he played the rest of the game. Joe Burrow had his left foot stepped on by Cordell Volson on a pass rush push that got into Joe Burrow, one of the few times actually on the afternoon, because Burrow had a very clean pocket all day long. Joe Burrow popped up. Yeah, it was a little bit sore, but after the game, Joe Burrow said, it's not a big deal. We'll see how it feels on Monday, but it should be A-OK. But midway through the fourth quarter, the Bengals lost their best premier pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson. He was down on the field for about a good 5 minutes as training staff got him up eventually in a seated position after a couple of minutes and then escorted him off the field to the blue tent. He was eventually evaluated for a neck injury, and we'll see how that goes when the Bengals talk to us on Monday. But that was a scary moment. We don't know if Trey Hendrickson's going to be out long term. That is certainly a day-to-day situation that will require some monitoring. Bengals breathing definitely a sigh of relief in this game. One guy who may not be breathing that easily after the game had kind of a rough day, Cam Taylor-Britt. He allowed a touchdown in this game to Deontay Johnson. He got burned on the 3rd play of the game, the first 3rd down conversion, again by Deontay Johnson. And eventually, Lou Anarumo went to a rotating system with his corners, with DJ Turner getting a good 20 to 25 snaps in this game. After the game, Turner told us that in training camp, he said, I told you we were going to face a situation where we would need everybody in the secondary at some point to contribute, and that was the case today as Turner and Dax Hill played corners quite a bit, and Cam Taylor-Britt did come in some substitution situations on 3rd down. And obviously, with Mike Hilton being a little banged up early, having a lot of flexibility and some depth really proved valuable this afternoon. Von Bell came back to his old haunts. He had a smile post-game, collecting the pop-up interception when Hendrickson got to Andy Dalton, and that led to the Bengals' first touchdown of the day, and that was after Von Bell returned the ball to the 16-yard line. Eventually, Chase Brown ran it in for 6 points and gave the Bengals their first lead of the day, 7-0. Bengals led this game 31-14 in the third quarter, and again were able to hold off Andy Dalton and the Panthers for their first win of the year. We'll have you covered on YouTube on the Jungle Roar Skinny Bengals postgame pod. That'll be on youtube.com/@JungleRoarPod. You can follow it there. We'll also have you covered on the X @Trags, as always, TRAGS. And, of course, my online recap at CLNS Cincy with a Y.com. Be sure to click it there and on YouTube for all my post-game reaction from inside the locker room. The final again, Bengals 34, Panthers 24. Inside Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.